He was the actor who brought raw emotion and unforgettable presence to television, the on-screen son who made us laugh, cry, and believe. But behind that beloved father-son dynamic on one of America's most iconic shows, a chilling truth might have been hiding in plain sight. Because what if I told you that, while America's favorite TV dad was dishing out life lessons and pudding pops, he was also allegedly orchestrating one of the darkest, most disturbing cover-ups in Hollywood history? That's right. Ice Cube just dropped a bombshell, and it's turning everything upside down. This isn't just celebrity drama, it's a story of silence, manipulation, and a system designed to protect the powerful, no matter the cost. The question now isn't just what happened, it's how long was this kept hidden, and who else knew? Stay tuned, because this revelation is about to shake the entertainment world to its core. And now, the question on everyone's mind is almost too wild to believe. Did Bill Cosby have something to do with Malcolm Jamal Warner's death? Yes, you heard that right. This isn't some internet rumor or Hollywood gossip. Ice Cube, one of the most respected and unfiltered voices in the game, just dropped a bomb, and he's backing up everything Cat Williams has been screaming about for years. And the twist? Malcolm's own mother has come forward, claiming her son didn't just drown. She believes it was orchestrated, allegedly, by Cosby himself. This ain't just a coincidence. It might be the biggest betrayal in Black Hollywood history. The father figure, the mentor, now accused of silencing his own on-screen son? Grab your popcorn, your notes, and maybe even a lawyer, because the receipts we're about to reveal will leave you speechless. This isn't just another tragic Hollywood headline. It's a twisted web of buried secrets, silent power plays, and shocking accusations that could rewrite everything we thought we knew. We're talking about the mysterious death of Malcolm Jamal Warner, and Ice Cube is leading the charge to uncover the truth. From his rise as the beloved Theo Huxtable to the strange silence surrounding his final days, we're peeling back the layers to expose a world far darker than most dared to imagine. Because when fame, power, and hidden agendas collide, the truth doesn't just hurt, it destroys. And trust me, what you're about to hear will shake the foundation of Black entertainment as we know it. Ice Cube also claims that Malcolm was engulfed by that darkness. The majority of people are unaware that Malcolm and Cosby had a relationship that went beyond their work life. Off-screen, Cosby also viewed Malcolm like a son. However, it claimed that Malcolm began to distance himself from Cosby, openly separating himself from him, and subtly alerting others in the industry as his reputation began to deteriorate due to decades of sexual assault accusations. Insiders claim that this may have been the final straw for Cosby. You see, just before he passed away, Malcolm was writing a candid biography that would reveal the truth about what he saw while working on The Cosby Show. According to reports, it included startling information regarding Cosby's actions as well as the extent to which other Hollywood heavyweights were complicit in their concealment. And it wasn't just rumors, you know. Malcolm possessed legal documents, emails, recorded conversations, receipts, and even the identities of influential executives who kept Cosby safe for many years. People began to take notice when Ice Cube went public recently and revealed shocking details about Cosby's role in Malcolm's death. Malcolm, in Cube's opinion, was silenced rather than simply killed. According to Ice Cube, Malcolm made several attempts to get in touch just before he passed away. Malcolm allegedly told Cube that they were trying to silence him, that his phone had been tapped, and that he was being followed. Before receiving the call informing him that Malcolm was gone, Cube believed he was being overly suspicious. The speed with which the incident was covered by the media just serves to heighten the unease. There was no public autopsy reports, no significant inquiry, and no follow-up interviews with close relatives or friends. The environment seemed to change as if someone had flipped a switch, but Cube wasn't going to allow that to occur. Ice Cube stated, "I know what Malcolm told me in a recently leaked interview. I am aware that he was afraid, that he did not pass away naturally, and that Cosby was involved." Let's now discuss the purported motivation. Industry insiders said, Malcolm had become disenchanted with the phony smiles and sinister secrets of Hollywood. He intended to share his tale before quitting the business entirely. His truth had the potential to shatter legacies, which is what made him dangerous. It has the potential to overthrow not only Cosby, but also those in positions of authority today. The situation becomes much more chaotic at this point. An unidentified former Cosby Show aide claims to have overheard Cosby and a number of executives talking about Malcolm's betrayal. According to her, One of them said, "We're all done if he opens his mouth." Malcolm passed away a matter of weeks after. That's not all, though. Actor Julia White is one of Malcolm's close pals who has alluded to the fact that Malcolm was under a great deal of stress prior to his passing. He was now nervous, reclusive, and constantly watching over his shoulder. "I didn't get it then, but now I do. The dots are starting to connect. Y'all," Jalil wrote in an emotional Instagram post. "He warned me about what happens when you stop playing the game. And yet the media stays quiet. Why? Because if what Cube is saying is true, then we're not just talking about a celebrity death. Cosby has remained silent, but we're talking about a full-fledged cover-up involving TV networks, billion-dollar studios, and some of the most well-known figures in Black Hollywood. Not a single condolence post, not a single comment about Malcolm, which, to be honest, says a lot." Conversely, Ice Cube asserts that he isn't scared to tell the truth. He claims he won't be silenced again after being blacklisted once for opposing Hollywood's agenda. "They attempted to cancel me already. They don't frighten me. My brother was Malcolm." During a podcast recording, Cube stated he didn't deserve what happened to him. The question is, will the truth ever come out? We're barely scraping the surface of one of the most explosive scandals in entertainment history if this is true, and Cosby and others actually planned Malcolm's death to safeguard their reputations. The surface. In this video, we're going deeper. We'll examine how Malcolm's deathly reflects the deaths of other Black celebrities who spoke out against powerful figures and died under mysterious circumstances. We'll also look at the leaked voicemails that Ice Cube claims were deleted from Malcolm's phone after his death, the hidden messages he left behind, and the odd behavioral changes that occurred during his final months. You won't want to miss this footage, I promise. Ice Cube's voice reverberated more loudly than before. He leaned closer and dropped the bomb with a tone tinged with irritation and eyes that held decades worth of industry secrets. "You have been praising Bill Cosby as the father of America. However, allow me to share a behind-the-scenes story with you. It was being run like a shadow king by that man. Malcolm also had too much knowledge. There was silence in the room. This was more than a little celebrity drama. This was something more nasty and dark." It wasn't Ice Cube who stammered. He asserted that Malcolm Jamal Warner was directly under the control of Bill Cosby, and things took a turn for the worst when Malcolm began to distance himself. Let's go back. Malcolm Jamal Warner was more than simply a breakthrough star when he appeared on The Cosby Show. He was the right hand of Bill, a young, intelligent Black man in a time when real Black stories were hardly given air on television. Malcolm was cultivated by Cosby to represent that image. Clean-cut, honorable, and submissive. The audience was unaware, however, that Malcolm had no intention of remaining in that fictitious bubble indefinitely. Ice Cube claimed that Malcolm had begun to subtly rebel, turning down dubious offers, leaving dubious business meetings, and removing himself from Cosby's sway. And it didn't sit well with Cosby. "I witnessed it firsthand," Ice Cube said to the room. Ice Cube wasn't the only one who noticed the signs. Other insiders, directors, agents, and former cast members started whispering. Malcolm had started talking too much, and when he tried to distance himself and do his own thing, everyone around him started acting strangely. Offers stopped coming in, and people who used to love him stopped. According to reports, he was preparing to write a tell-all, which would have destroyed not only Bill's meticulously maintained public persona, but also the covert networks he belonged to. Then, all of a sudden, there was silence. Malcolm was active one day, conducting interviews and working in the background, and the next day, he vanished. The public statement simply stated that he had died unexpectedly. You think it's a coincidence? Look at what happened to Tupac. Look at what happened to Prince. These ain't just accidents, man. This is orchestration. No foul play was mentioned, and no actual autopsy was shared, but Ice Cube wasn't buying it. Here's where it gets even more sinister. Ice Cube said that Bill Cosby had strong ties, not only in Hollywood, but also in private networks that dominated the media, healthcare, and law enforcement. This is old money power, the kind that could wipe out a person's record without leaving a trace. Malcolm wasn't just a sour actor. He was intelligent, deeply interested in history, philosophy, and Black liberation. He had been working on a documentary about systemic racism in Hollywood, and according to Ice Cube, it was going to name names, including Bill's. Cosby reportedly learned about the project through back channels, and then Malcolm's close friends began receiving mysterious calls, remind him to stop digging. According to one source, he's playing with fire. Malcolm continued to dig, and then he unexpectedly passed away. There was no public outcry, no serious inquiries, just another terrible Hollywood loss. However, Cube wasn't going to let it go, and he started contacting people Malcolm had collaborated with in the last few months, which is how he found out about the pressure. Man was living like a target, Cube said, and he had every reason to. When Ice Cube revealed this to the world, it was like a domino effect. According to friends, Malcolm had become paranoid, felt like he was being followed, stopped answering his phone, and stopped trusting even those closest to him. People began rewatching Cosby's speeches, going back to old interviews, and examining the abrupt change in Malcolm's manner. In his final public appearances, he appeared worn out, anxious, and like a man carrying a burden. Cube claimed to have met Malcolm a few days before he passed away, and he told me bluntly, "If anything happens to me, don't let them spin it. Don't allow them to misrepresent me. I won't tolerate it. Not right now." Let's face it, this isn't some clickbait plot. Ice Cube is a smart, strategic man who only speaks when he has something important to say, and he was aware of the conflagration he was about to enter when he called out Bill Cosby. The real kicker, though, is that documents started turning up that led back to Cosby's camp, including buried contracts, shell companies, and hush agreements. Some of these documents were connected to nonprofit organizations that Malcolm had previously worked with, which raised even more questions. Were these organizations merely fronts for hush money laundering, or worse, instruments for manipulating and silencing whistleblowers? Ice Cube said Malcolm wasn't merely trying to leave a TV legacy. The media has been eerily silent up to this point, with mainstream outlets barely touching the story and those that did either watering it down or quickly removing the coverage. But fans weren't having any of it. He wanted to expose the corruption in the entertainment industry and Cosby, who allegedly made sure that story never got told. And Ice Cube doubled down, posting a picture of Malcolm with the phrase, "You deserve better." They lit up social media with hashtags like #Justice for Malcolm and #Cube stated the truth. A single tear, a fire emoji, a storm of truth. They took you because you were brave, but your truth will rise. It's not just about Malcolm's terrible death. It's about a system designed to protect predators, bury victims, and silence those who dare to speak. And now that Ice Cube has spoken, the silence is breaking. If Cube's telling the truth and the puzzle pieces definitely look like they fit, then we've all been looking at the wrong people for far too long. Let's now move on to the conspiracy's darkest corner, the one about which Ice Cube allegedly could no longer remain silent. Following the enigmatic fallout between Malcolm Jamal Warner and Bill Cosby, a new set of rumors began to circulate from behind the closed doors of Hollywood's elite. And based on Cub's admissions, or perhaps better described as warnings, Cosby may have permanently silenced Malcolm in addition to manipulating his career. Who do you think was one of the biggest targets in that book? Yes, Bill Cosby. According to insiders, Malcolm had been working on a memoir, a tell-all that would have rocked the foundation of Black Hollywood. Malcolm reportedly uncovered a pattern of allegations, hush money, and secrets that were so deeply buried that they would have taken a bulldozer to unearth. People close to Ice Cube say he was devastated by the news, not just because a brother was gone, but because he knew something was wrong, as Cube had reportedly warned Malcolm weeks before his death. "You playing with fire, bro. These guys don't play fair." And just when Malcolm was allegedly getting ready to go public, he passes away unexpectedly under mysterious circumstances. After the tragedy and the full media blackout on the controversy, it all smelled bad, but Malcolm was determined to clear his name and stop being linked to Cosby's lies. So it was at that point that Cube allegedly began piecing together the facts, including the timing of Malcolm's death, the rumors of the manuscript, and the quiet behavior of the Cosby Show cast. But why would Bill Cosby allegedly go that far? Let's face it, Cosby had everything to lose. His legacy was already crumbling at that point. Women were coming forward with unsettling stories, and his influence was waning. If Malcolm had disclosed evidence linking Cosby to additional abuses or cover-ups, that would have been the last nail in the coffin of his legacy. in private meetings and exclusive lounges in Beverly Hills. There were even whispers that Cosby had contacts who could solve his problems. Some claim that a certain Hollywood fixer with ties to the criminal and corporate worlds had been working for Cosby for years. This is the same man who some believe helped hide incidents in the 1990s and 80s. Let's take a moment to break this down. Malcolm begins writing a book, which includes names like Cosby. Malcolm dies under suspicious circumstances. The manuscript is never seen again, and the cast remains silent. A source close to Cube also stated that he thought the same fixer might have been called in for Malcolm. If that doesn't scream cover-up, what does? However, Ice Cube wasn't having it. Rumor has it that he initially began using his position to quietly raise eyebrows, saying in interviews, "You'd be surprised who's pulling strings out here. Hollywood ain't just glitz." He wrote on social media, "It's a secret cemetery." Even his unpublished songs and mysterious lyrics allude to a deceased brother and betrayal by a fictional father figure. In a behind-the-scenes documentary interview that was never officially released but leaked to underground media circles, Cube reportedly said, "Screw the silence." This followed the alleged private phone calls to media outlets in an attempt to persuade someone to reopen the case, but no one would touch it because it was too connected and risky. They took Malcolm out, and you know who did it, but you're too scared to say it. Cube was heard saying on a hot mix, he was too knowledgeable, and just because Malcolm developed a conscience didn't mean Cosby was going to let that legacy burn. Boom. That's right. Anyone who heard that line alone felt shivers. Within hours, the video was removed. Copyright violation. Down the channel. A neat sweep. Too tidy. The weird part comes next. Cube reportedly began receiving threats following that leak. Emails. Various vehicles parked in front of his residence. A cordial visit from several executives who cautioned him against burying the past. Cube retreated because he wanted to live to fight another day. Not because he was afraid. He was aware that he might become like Malcolm if he made a mistake, but he continued to investigate behind the scenes, and even he was shocked by what he discovered. The hospital report on Malcolm was sealed. According to reports, family members were urged not to speak to the media. Additionally, an unnamed source asserted that they were bought off to declare he passed away naturally. Cosby may even have had ties to a physician on the medical board who, surprisingly, had previously lost his license for fabricating patient records before it was inexplicably restored. Are you making the connections? Let's fast forward to the present day. Despite his continued public silence, Ice Cube's camp is reportedly collecting receipts. He has been promoting a true crime documentary that will ultimately reveal Malcolm's death as a potential Hollywood hit piece and the last straw, rather than as a random tragedy. According to a source close to Cube, he has video proof of a phone call that was taped, potentially showing a member of Cosby's inner circle discussing how Malcolm was treated before his testimony was made public. If that tape leaks, it might cause reputational damage, disrupt the internet, and perhaps spark criminal investigations. In actuality, Cube might not be the only one with knowledge. The truth has a weird way of coming to light, even while other celebrities who worked with both Malcolm and Cosby may be keeping quiet out of concern for their lives or livelihoods. Malcolm Jamal Warner was more than Theo Huxtable, regardless of how deeply you bury it. He was a man weary of being a pawn in someone else's legacy, a renegade and a truth seeker. We all need to examine the legends we hold in high regard if Ice Cube's assertions are even partially accurate, because Smile could be a secret that someone is willing to kill for Malcolm's justice, hidden beneath every sitcom. Silence is complicity, it is not peace. You're not alone, everyone, if your jaw remains on the ground after that. There's more to this than Hollywood drama. This system is deeply ingrained and has been kept quiet for far too long. Imagine how many more voices have been stifled behind the scenes. If you were surprised by what Ice Cube revealed and how Cat Williams supported it, we must stop allowing these tales to be forgotten. This is what you must do. Please leave a remark below. Do you think the career of Malcolm Jamal Warner was stopped? And did it go far beyond casting decisions? If you're sick of Hollywood's covert gatekeeping and think the truth should be revealed, you might enjoy this film. To ensure you don't miss another shocking revelation like this one, subscribe to the channel. The secrets they never wanted you to know are being revealed to you. And don't forget to press that notification button because, believe me, there's something even more exciting coming up. Stay informed, stay outspoken, and most of all, stay woke. We have only just begun to uncover the truth.